Hello, hello, hello. You said I should be at 15. That's 15.
I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
SportsTownChicago.com. Lombard, part of the Be On Air network and available on the TuneIn app.
Hell yeah.
Broadcast home for your Windy City Bulls and the Chicago Dogs. We're in a league of our own. Now, here's your SportsTownChicago.com scoreboard update.
At 12:45, I'm Jonathan Young with your SportsTownChicago.com update powered by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to BeyondAir.com. Bears traveled to San Fran Sunday to take on the 49ers at 3:25. This will be head coach Thomas Brown's first game as head coach. Elijah Hicks, Ryan Bates, Darnell Wright, and Roshan Johnson are all questionable. Brisker remains out. For the Bears, Trent Williams is questionable and Christian McCaffrey is out for the 49ers. Tune in on Fox to see the game. The Bulls take the show on the road against the Spurs in San Antonio Thursday night at 7 as Zach LaVine leads the Bulls, averaging 22 points a game, against Victor Wembanyama, averaging 24. Kobe White and Patrick Williams are game-time decisions for the Bulls, and Trey Jones is a game-time decision for the Spurs. Tune in on Chicago Sports Net to catch the game. After losing the last three, the Blackhawks host the Bruins tonight at 6:30. Tune in on TNT. It's dynamite. Juan Soto is nearing a decision on his free agency, but Soto's agent, Scott Boras, declined to offer a definite timetable. The Yankees, Mets, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Dodgers are the five known candidates for Soto, whose deal is expected to exceed $600 million and could span 15 years. This has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to BeyondAir.com.
You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes.
Now live. Your host, Jonathan Young. Windy City Sports Nation.
Dragons. Somebody grab Dragons. Do you know who this kid is? He's from Chicago. He has a 40-inch vertical, and you are machine. This is what I need my poster machine. Where's it at? Oh, my goodness.
Are you ready to dominate?
Hurdle Sauerbrunn, 20, 10, 5, touchdown! 75-yard punt return, Devin Hester! You are ridiculous!
Zealous off the inbound.
His stroke is starting to look better and better every game.
Here's Levine, Johnson on Higgs, splitting the defense. The kick out for Zealous on the 3.
Give me the hot sauce. Little Uzi Vert.
Montas to Zealous. On the drive with the floater. Rebound from Porter Tucker. He's looking ahead to Buzelis on the attack.
Get out the way. Get out the way.
How about an 8-point, 2 3-pointer, and a dunk in the first quarter for Montas Buzelis?
They're starting to play. This is very similar.
Here is Ball. Leaves for Buzelis. Fakes the pass. Fires a 3. 3 threes for Montas Buzelis, who struck Ball the screen. Vucevic to Buzelis.
That's good team basketball right there. Eyes up the floor. Ball hits Vooch coming down the middle, and Vooch unselfishly gives the ball to the rookie. Says, "Rookie, let me feed you. Go get it."
It's only the 14th of his NBA career. Giddy drives, Giddy kicks. Montas Buzelis Billy Donovan's shoulders kind of slumped there because he's still disappointed in that offense. Buzelis punches it home.
Watch your head.
A 20-point night for the first time in his NBA career, and he did it with some flush.
Welcome in, everyone. Jonathan Young here, Windy City Sports Nation. I'd like to credit that last clip on YouTube to the Bulls. Thank you so much for that last clip. That was Montas Buzelis the other night against Brooklyn, and he had a game and a half. The young guy, he really did his thing, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see what the head coach does with this situation, because it's not excuse me, it's not just what he does with Buzelis, but what does he do with Patrick Williams? I mean, Patrick Williams should be the starter. He should be the starter, and Buzelis should come off the bench. But the young guy, he's really making it difficult for him to come off the bench, because they need that spark in the beginning, and he has the ability to be that spark in the beginning. He had 9 points in that first three threes and a dunk in that first quarter. That's called getting off to a hot start. Something Patrick Williams just isn't able to do. He's not willing to take those early shots. He's not willing to show that aggression in the beginning of the game. So it's going to be tough to see what Coach Billy Donovan will do when Patrick Williams returns from his injury. And I have that as my question today. How many minutes do you guys think Buzelis should get when Patrick Williams returns? He had his most minutes of the season against Brooklyn, where he had his first 20-point game night. That kid, he just looked so good, and it's gonna be real interesting how many minutes a game he gets when Patrick does get back. I would like to see him get 25 to 30. 25 to 30. I think that with him getting 25 to 30, that should be enough for him and Patrick Williams to be able to still get enough time. He had 22 minutes in the game against Brooklyn. He shot 7 of 10, 4 or 5 from 3. He had two free throws. He had 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. So he gives you that defense as well. He was a plus 17 for the game. The highest, it's plus 17, the 4th highest behind Vooch, Zach, and Ayo Dosunmu. Vooch had plus 29 for the game. Vooch or Zach LaVine was plus 25, and then Ayo Dosunmu was a plus 24. And then you had the rookie Matisse Buzelis at plus 17, 20 points. So it's nice to see the rookie not be shying from big moments and have the confidence to pull the trigger. I mean, 4 or 5 from the three is not easy. 7 to 10 from the field is not easy in 22 minutes. And I mean, even late after he did all this offensive work, the last block he got was a great on-ball defender block where he was on-ball defending, and his guy drove to the basket and he beat him at the rim. Like it was nice, man. So it's really cool to see Mr. Matisse Buzelis get some time. We really hope Patrick Williams does come back healthy and ready to play. But if he loses his starting spot to Matisse Buzelis, it'll be for the betterment of the team now and future. So I'm not making him be our starter. Don't want him to necessarily be our starter. I would rather see Mr. Buzelis and have him come off the bench. Josh Giddey. I have to shout out to Josh Giddey. He had a great game. 32 minutes, 9 of 17, 1 of 8 from 3. But that's okay. That's okay. He wasn't brought in to be a shooter. He had 11 dimes, which is what he was brought here to do, and 13 rebounds. He did have 5 turnovers. He did have 5 turnovers, and that hurts us. But as a team, they have gotten their turnovers down from 20 to 15. They were in the middle or in the middle 20s about a week ago, and now they're under 20. So that's really good. They've cut down. They're getting 15 and a half turnovers a game, which is not easy to do. But as a team, 15 and a half is a lot better than 20. So shout out to them. They gotta just keep running with the ball in your hands. Stop turning the ball over. Running gun, shoot the 3. If you open, shoot it. Don't hold it. That's what Patrick Williams would do. He just want to sit there, just hold it, shoot it. You got it. Make your move. Step back, kiss yourself, as Stacey King like to say. As Mr. Zach LaVine does so often. Step back, kiss yourself. So it's nice. It's nice to see the Bulls running, gunning, shooting. They're exciting. The wins aren't there yet. But things like Mr. Giddey, Mr. Buzelis give you things to build on. Even the fact that Nikolai Vucevic and Zach LaVine have their trade value is growing. Both of them. The Bulls are in 8th place in their division. They're in 8th place in the Central. 9-13, and they are an exciting team to watch. It's not and the reason they're an exciting team to watch is because they're in every game. Even against Boston until the last quarter, they were in that game until the last quarter. I mean, when you run up and down the court and you can shoot, you can keep up with any team in the NBA. And the Bulls can shoot. Unbelievably, the Bulls have been shooting their butts off. Top 5 in 3-pointers made, attempt, and field goal percentage. Top 5 in points. Their problem has been turnovers and inconsistent play from certain players. But, with Lonzo Ball coming back healthy, with Patrick Williams, he'll be coming back healthy. The sky is the limit. I mean, if they trade Zach, if they trade Vooch and try to rebuild, anything can happen. If they're in limbo right now because they're not good enough to compete as this team is for a championship. They're not good enough to compete. They would need someone better than Zach LaVine to join the team to be able to compete, like a Giannis or an Anthony Davis or the flag kid from Duke. And that's where you come into this problem is how are you going to get that free agent? How are you going to get that, trade piece? A cat on the Bulls instead of Vucevic, I would have loved to see it. But you're not going to trade Vuce for a cat. Well, Chicago would. The Knicks wouldn't, nor would Minnesota. So that's kind of where the Bulls are. They're stuck in the middle where they don't know. Well, not that they don't know, but they can't really move forward enough to go for a championship, to go for a ring, or to just tank and be the worst team because they have too much talent on the team to tank and be the worst team. So they're right in limbo. They're right in limbo, which puts them in a tough situation. But we'll see. Time will tell, and we'll go from there with the Chicago Bulls. It's great to see that they are being competitive, going out there competing each week, each game. So, that's all you can really ask for, But you can't always trade to get better. Free agents can get you there faster. So why isn't the Chicago team going after this great free agent? We'll be right back, Windy City Sports Nation.
This is your home for sports. SportsTownChicago.com.
Joe's Hot Dogs has been around since 1953, but I promise it's not old news. You don't have to like hot dogs to like Joe's on Plainfield Road in Joliet. Italian beef, hot dogs, shakes, and sides. My family's had a relationship with Joe's Hot Dogs for 3 generations. Golden fries with a tad bit of salt and the perfect amount of crunch come in a bag as big as your hand. And that's just a small. For more on the menu, visit joeshotdogsjoliet.com, bringing that classic Chicago flavor to the suburbs. That's Joe's Hot Dogs across from CVS on Plainfield Road in Joliet.
At the football game, Jim shows the telltale signs of being wasted. He starts flexing for the camera. He refers to his muscles as gunboats. He screams, "How's this for a halftime show?" Jim streaks the field.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many to drive. But what if you've had just one too many to drive? Never underestimate just a few. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and Windy City News Radio.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, beonair.com.
Maybe that was money. Tell me that wasn't money.
Yo, check us out. We are the go-to guys. I'm your boy Space.
I'm your boy MC.
Check us out every Thursday
from 4 to 5 p.m.
We spitting all facts, all sports, all day.
Yes, sir. Who else you gonna go to in the clutch?
Lillard, long-range three, and it's good!
Keeping you up to date with all the latest sports news.
We are
the go-to guys.
Where else you gonna get all your sports news from? SportsTownChicago.com.
St. Patrick's Day, the only day of the year that it's okay to not boo the Boston Celtics.
I will show you mercy.
SportsTownChicago.com.
Daily Soto Update.
I think the number one thing to remember, Sal, is that nobody really knows anything other than Juan Soto, probably Scott Boras, maybe Juan Soto's family, but there, as there will be at a time like this when there's a void of information, there's a lot of stuff out there. So where does that leave the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox? They just don't know. I do think it's fair to predict that this will wrap up later this week or perhaps into next. Obviously, when we get to winter meetings, that's been the pace it's been on all along. But anybody claiming to tell anybody what Soto wants to do or he wants to play doesn't know.
So that was, I'd like to give credit out to Chicago Cubs YouTube for that last clip. Appreciate that right there. That was a nice little conversation being had on Mr. Juan Soto, who is a free agent. Mr. Juan Soto, one of the best bats in baseball. So why aren't the Cubs interested in Juan Soto? I don't think it's not that they're not interested. I think that they're just cheap and don't want to spend for Mr. Juan Soto. There is no hard salary cap in baseball, which is why the Dodgers are going after Soto and already have the man that broke the record for contracts in Shohei Ohtani. So that's why, because there is no hard salary cap in baseball. There's a soft salary cap where if you go over, you have to pay a luxury tax, but that's how teams get better. But it doesn't always work that way. But will the Cubs actually sign any of these top free agents? Reach out to me, JJ Young, WindyCitySportsNation at gmail.com. Let me know what you guys think. Will the Cubs sign any top free agents? It's going to be tough. I'm not sold. They have a really good roster, and I just feel like they're one piece short. Just like the Bulls, just like the Bears. You know, if they had that one left tackle or that one guard, or if they had that one defensive end opposite Montez Sweat, or if you had that one player better, it's always one thing which, oh man. But anyway. Mr. Soto for the Cubs. Last year, him and Giancarlo Stanton was unfair. And they really did torment teams all year. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and then you got Mr. Juan Soto there too. It's like it's not even fair. Okay, so Juan Soto last year, he played in 157 games. He had 576 at bats, 128 runs to lead the Yankees, 166 hits to place him second on the Yankees, 31 doubles, second again, only to Aaron Judge on both of those, 4 triples, 41 home runs, only second to Aaron Judge with 58, 109 RBIs, only second to Aaron Judge again at 144. Average was 288. Ooh, that's really good. Second again, only 2. Aaron Judge at 322. But, man, those two together, man. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto was... And then you added in Giancarlo Stanton. Like, man, that's some fear. That is some fear right there that they put into other teams. Which is something the Cubs just don't have right now. They don't have that bat where you say, man, maybe it's best we walk this guy. Who? Cody Bellinger? No, you don't fear Cody. He's a good batter. I'm not taking anything away from Cody. He's a good professional hitter, but he's not a scary hitter. Juan Soto is a scary hitter. He installs fear into the pitcher's eyes when they see him. And unfortunately, right now, the Cubs just don't have that type of batter. But those numbers are really good for Mr. Soto for the year. I mean, on top of those numbers, to still bat 288 is outstanding. For the year, for the year, Mr. Soto was there. There really wasn't a hot and cold streak with Mr. Soto, or throughout his career. For his career, he has a great batting average, and this is a long, lengthy career. His batting average is at 285 for his career, which is just what he averaged for last year, 285. So you pretty much know what you're going to get. He batted 288, 275, 236, 246, 313, 351, 282, 292 in the seasons that he's been in the league. So he's an above average hitter. He's a superstar, and that's the type of bat you need, man. 41 home runs, 35, 6, but he didn't play many games. 21, 29, 13. Again, he didn't play many games. 34 and then 22. So 21 being his lowest, and he only played in 100 games that year. Out of his most recent times, he did only have 6 in 22, but he only played in 52 games, and then he had 13 in 2020, but again, he only played in 47 games, and he had 13 home runs. So he is a home run machine, but he doesn't just hit home runs, he hits for average, which makes him so scary, because you don't know if he's swinging for power. You don't know if he's going to be just swinging at location. You don't know if he's trying to direct hit. You don't know what he's really going to do, which is why he is such a scary batter. I wish the Cubs would go after, but I do believe the Cubs are cheap, and they do not want to spend that money on Mr. Soto and go into that luxury tax, even though it would help them so much. They did sign Matthew Boyd, though, for $29 million. And Mr. Boyd has had a pretty good year last year. That Cubs rotation with Shada Imaga, Justin Steele, James Talon, Jordan Wicks as your sixth, Javier Assad, and now Boyd. That's nice. That's nice. That's a really nice starting rotation. So you do know that they'll have the pitching. I do believe the pitchers will not be a downfall this year for the Cubs. I do believe it will be keeping up bat-wise. They did get Isaac Paredes last year, right at the deadline, and he came in Chicago and did a great job for them. So we'll just have to see on what he can do in a full season. We got Nico Horner, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, Cody Bellinger, my boy Seiya Suzuki. Hopefully he'll continue his growth. Pete Crow Armstrong, Christopher Morel, just to name a few. Still got Patrick Wisdom down there. Yanni Gomes, Nick Mandergaard. So it's not that they don't have talent. The Cubs have talent, but they just don't have that one piece to really say, hey, we're really here to contend. To put everyone else on notice and say, we're not going to be a pushover team this year. You better bring your best game every game. They just don't have that right now, unfortunately. And if they would just spend the money and go out there and get Mr. Juan Soto, that would not be an issue at all. So instead, we're left to ask who can step up this year for the Cubs, who can take that next step and hold down the offense until they do find that scary bat. To ask Cody Bellinger to really do it by himself again is not fair, because it's hard. He needs help, and Seiya Suzuki hitting 21 bombs and batting .283 is a great start. He needs to play more than 132 games. I believe his injury history is one of the things that really keeps him from being mentioned as one of the top outfielders of the game. He needs to be a lot more consistent and stay healthy. But 21 home runs for Seiya, 73 ribbies, batting .283. 16 steals, so he has a little bit of speed on the bags as well with that power. Maybe in a full season, he could take that step. Pete Crow Armstrong, he could be that scary bet. He could be that piece that you need to get you over the bump. But he'll have to do it, and he'll have to prove that he can do it before anybody is willing to say it's Pete Crow Armstrong. 10 home runs last year in 123 games, batted .237. He did have 27 steals, though, to lead the team in steals. So they do have options and pieces that they can go with. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what the Cubs are willing to really spend and do. There was a lot of spending going on Friday, though. Everybody was out there spending for Black Friday, and it's usually the beginning of a Christmas shopping, Christmas presents, gifts like that. But Black Friday for this team, it means the end of a season.
Back to your home for sports. SportsTownChicago.com. Scoreboard update.
At 1:15, I'm Jonathan Young with your SportsTownChicago.com update, powered by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to BeyondAir.com. The Bulls take the show on the road against the Spurs in San Antonio Thursday night at 7, as Zach LaVine leads the Bulls in averaging 22 points a game against Victor Wembanyama, who's getting 24 points a game. Kobe White and Patrick Williams are game-time decisions for the Bulls, and Trey Jones is a game-time decision for the Spurs. Tune in on Chicago Sportsnet to catch the game. The Bears travel to San Francisco on Sunday to take on the 49ers at 3:25. This will be head coach Thomas Brown's first game as head coach. Elijah Hicks, Brian Bates, Darnell Wright, and Roshan Johnson are all questionable. Brisker remains out for the Bears. Trent Williams is questionable, and Christian McCaffrey is out. Tune in on Fox to see the game. After losing the last 3 games, the Blackhawks host the Bruins tonight at 6:30. Tune in on TNT. It's dynamite. Juan Soto is nearing decision on his free agency, but Soto's agent, Scott Boras, declined to offer a deadline or a definite timetable. The Yankees, Mets, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Dodgers are 5 known candidates for Soto, whose deal is expected to exceed $600 million and can span 15 years. This has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to BeyondAir.com.
This is your home for sports. Red left! SportsTownChicago.com.
Take that exit and get to the Southern Cafe, home of the Nasty Biscuit on Roselle Road in Roselle. Get over there and try the chicken fried chicken biscuit made with the Southern Cafe's house-made drop biscuit with buttermilk chicken fried chicken smothered in country gravy, topped with shredded cheddar and crumbled hickory smoked bacon. I always say that when you go to the Southern Cafe, you come out with 2 meals with a heaping amounts of food they serve you in every meal. I love to go to a place with outdoor seating. The Southern Cafe has a great outdoor seating area to help social distance, and I get to enjoy my breakfast outdoors. Open 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. to give you plenty of time to grab an amazing breakfast or lunch. Now get your butt over to the Southern Cafe on Roselle Road.
Hello?
It's speed walking day.
Dorothy? You're breaking up.
Did I mention we'd be slowing down when we pass the court where those fine brothers play ball?
I heard that.
Reduce your risk of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Get active, eat right, and maybe even run into Mr. Right. Isn't sisterhood beautiful? For more information, go to everydaychoices.org. Brought to you by the American Cancer Society, the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association, the Ad Council, and this station.
Alert! Alert! Be gone, maxed out credit cards, overdue loans, suffocating interest rates, and relentless collection agencies. If your credit rating is making you and others around you cringe, there's only one thing to do, and that's to turn to the professionals at Creative Credit Solutions. Even if your credit is less than perfect, we'll help you get back on track. You can do it, and we can help. Call today or visit creativecreditsolutions.net for your free credit check report.
Blow the whistle on SportsTownChicago.com. Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 3 p.m. as we talk NFL.
The game plan was really sound.
The quarterback league. It has been. It still is.
Franchise-defining quarterbacks.
College football.
Will Jim Harbaugh make it through the season as Michigan's head coach?
Some more Big Ten talk.
And here's some things you wouldn't expect.
I would have never expected that.
Get all of that and more on Blow the Whistle on SportsTownChicago.com.
It's a situation now where the coach threw a player under the bus and didn't take accountability for that himself, and the defense let go of the rope, which conversely puts more pressure on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense in order for the team to be competitive. And I just think it's an impossible situation that he's in right now. And I hate saying this about Caleb because I still want to believe that he can be a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But it feels like this is going the way of Justin Fields. It's going the way of Mitch Trubisky. It's going the way of Rex Grossman. It's going the way of Cade McNown. I will acknowledge
that's Mr. Michael Irvin giving his thoughts a few weeks back about the state of the Chicago Bears right before they did actually decide to let Mr. Eberflus go. So if you guys did not know, for the first time ever in Bears history, the Chicago Bears have fired their coach in the season, during the season. And although I feel it's for the best of the team, it's sad to see. And the reason it's sad is because Ryan Poles felt like he did his due diligence when he made Eberflus the coach. And then he felt like he doubled down in keeping him last year, or for this year, I'm sorry. When there was some writing on the wall with some of the losses last year, he chose to stuck with him. And I feel bad for Poles. And Poles we trust, but I feel bad for Poles because he has to bite this. So after they fired him, they had a press conference with Kevin Warren and Poles. I would like to get a question out there and find out what you guys think. How many interceptions will Mr. Caleb Williams throw for the rest of the season? How many? I know how many I want him to throw. I want Caleb to throw 15 to 20 interceptions. Okay, maybe more like 10 in the last, maybe more like 10 in the last 5 games. I want him to realistically be a gunslinger. I want to see him go out there and make mistakes I want Mr. Brown to make mistakes so that they know what they can and can't get away with. There's no point in, trying to salvage this year. This year, Black Friday was the end of the Bears season. It was the end of their season. Even if they went out and win their last 5, they're still going to be 9-8. And they could get in with a wild card, but would you want to be a wild card? I don't want to be a wild card. It hurts your draft capital. You can't get that top tackle or guard that you want, or the end. You're in the middle of the pack, the end of the pack. No. Just let Caleb go out there and rip it. I want to see him make mistakes left and right, because that's the only way that young man is going to get better. He's too timid at times, and he holds on to the ball instead of throwing it. So tell him, hey, man, if I see you clutch this ball just once, you owe me $1,000 out your bonus. I don't think Caleb is financially motivated at all. He got money. But it's a way to hold him accountable. It's a way to say, hey, look, you messed up on this play. Somebody else is probably going to pay the $1,000 for him. But as long as he knows, hey, I clutched it on this play, I got to pay this $1,000 because of it. Maybe next play he doesn't. But you got to get him out of the habit of holding on to the ball. And now is a great time to do that because you got nothing else to play for the rest of the season. You got nothing else to play for. So since you have nothing else to play for, why not fix one of the things that you are able to fix and try to help him grow with Mr. Brown as their head coach and offensive coordinator. Well, he's not the offensive coordinator no more. He's the head coach, but we shall see. I would really like to see Caleb throw the ball more. In this last game, he threw for 256, very close to that 270 mark a game he needed to hit 4,000 for the year. Very close. He needed 20 more yards to hit that 270 mark. So pretty close. I still think he can hit 4,000 for the year. I don't think he will, but he can. If he has 1 or 2 300-yard plus games, yeah, he can hit that 4,000 mark for the first time ever for the Bears, which would be crazy, absolutely crazy. Because for a rookie to be able to do it and nobody else could do it, that would be crazy. But it would be a good sign. It would be a good sign that we have the right quarterback going forward. It would be a good sign that says, hey, we have pieces. Rome Odunze. Is Keenan Allen his favorite receiver now? It just seems like every week Keenan Allen is growing more and more with him. This receiving core of Moore, Allen, and Odunze is really, really starting to show why everyone had them ranked so high, or rated so high at the beginning of the year, and with their possibilities. Because last game, DJ Moore, 8 receptions, 97. Keenan Allen, 5 receptions for 73 yards. Rome Odunze only had 2 for 25, but even Cole Kmet, 3 receptions for 26. Like, this is what you want. This is more of what you need. I would have liked to see, Rome with a couple more catches, get him at like 4 or 5. But if that's all you're nitpicking on, there's a couple of catches here and there, that's a lot better. And this is against Detroit. The previous week, too, they looked even better. So moving forward, it's going to be nice to see if Caleb can. And he only threw the ball 39 times as opposed to 54 in the previous one. So if he had those 14 other attempts, he, I'm sure, would have hit that 20 yards. So it's gonna be interesting to see if the young man can or if he cannot reach that 4,000 mark. Unfortunately, against the Lions, it was same story, different day. Rip your hearts out at the end, and that hurt. That was a bad loss for the Bears, and we'll just have to see where they go with the remaining games. San Fran is their next game. That's a winnable game. San Fran's 5-7. The Bears are 4-8 in San Fran, but I do think that they can salvage the year by letting Caleb make his mistakes. Don't go to the playoffs. Don't even try to go to the playoffs. The season's over. Look for the draft. Let's get this tackle guard situation fixed. Let's get this DN situation fixed, and man, the future could be really bright. The future could be really bright for the Bears. Kevin Warren is the president and believes the Bears are the best spot for a head coach to land. And he spoke on this and more. Stay tuned, Windy City Sports Nation.
This is your home for sports.
Longtime fan, sports is like life.
SportsTownChicago.com.
What's up, Chicago? If you're ever, and I mean ever, out looking for good urban food 24/7, come down to White Palace Grill, located 1159 South Canal Street in Chicago. White Palace Grill is open 365 days a year since 1939. I personally love the steak and egg dinner, but whether you like burgers for breakfast, steak for lunch, or French toast for dinner, White Palace is the place for you. The diner is a 24-hour urban oasis. Come now, come later. Hey, come now and later. We never close at White Palace Grill, located 1159 South Canal Street in Chicago. Visit us at whitepalace.com or order with Uber Eats or Grubhub anytime, any day.
Daddy, when you look at me, I could see your wheels turning. About what am I going to be when I grow up? A major league first baseman? Maybe a point guard for a national champion.
The odds of a child becoming a professional athlete are 1 in 16,000. Far-fetched? Maybe. But did you know the odds of a child being diagnosed with autism are 1 in 166? That's right, 1 in 166. To learn the signs of autism, go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Go to Lux Barbershop for the best barbers and stylists in Plainfield, Illinois. I go there when I have an important event, date, or I just want to look good. The straight razor shave will have you looking fresh and smooth. Lux Barbershop is open 7 days a week. Go to Lux Barbershop for the finest barbers, stylists, braiders, and massage therapists in the southern suburbs. Check out all their daily deals on Facebook, Instagram, and luxbarbershop.com.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
The Chicago Dogs are back on SportsTownChicago.com. Tune in to the season opener against the Sioux City Explorers, Friday, May 28th at Impact Field in Rosemont. First pitch at 7:05 p.m. Hear all the action right here on SportsTownChicago.com.
We have a great tradition. We're going to have plenty of salary cap. We have a young, talented roster. We have strong draft capital in the upcoming draft. And we have a quarterback in Caleb Williams who's shown he is very special. And in the right environment, he can become even more special.
That's right, man. That's right. The future looks great. Looks great for the Bears. It's always the future though. But it looks great. It looks great. So with the Bears getting rid of Mr. Eberflus and promoting Mr. Brown to head coach, it's a 5 week in job audition for Mr. Brown. But honestly, if there's any falter at all, any lapses, that audition is going to be failed very quick, because there isn't a long rope, because there's a lot of great head coach candidates out there. And because of that, he doesn't have a long rope. So any mistakes, it better be very, very, very small, minuscule. Because if one bad mistake, Mr. Brown is going to be out of there. I would like to see the Bears go with a young offensive-minded coach. Brown does fit that build. Nobody knew who Mike Tomlin was before he became Mike Tomlin. You know, there's always that one guy who comes out of nowhere, and maybe that's Mr. Brown. I'd love that quote right there. My good teacher up here at Illinois Media School gave me that one. Got to give him a shout out. Thank you. But he's right. He's right. No one knew who Tomlin was until Tomlin became Tomlin, you know. So we'll just see what Mr. Brown can do. Do you guys trust Warren and Poles to make the right decision on the coach? Do you guys trust them to get this right this time? Reach out to me, JJ Young, WindyCitySportsNation at gmail.com. Me personally, I do not. And it was supposed to be Poles that made this decision. And it's supposed to be Poles that's making this decision again. Poles made the last decision to get Waldron as his offense coordinator, and or I'm sorry, not to get Waldron, but to get Eberflus as their head coach. That was Poles' decision. And now it's not going to be Poles. It's going to be Mr. Kevin Warren. He says it's going to be Poles, but it's really Mr. Kevin Warren. He's going to be talking to his circle of friends and people that have knowledge of the coaching carousel that's going on in the NBA or in the NFL right now. And he's supposed to be heading the head coach. Do you guys trust that he will find the next good head coach in Chicago? I have to. I have to trust it, because it's like you're too far in on the game now to fall back. It's like poker. You've already put too many chips in the middle to take it out now and fold. Like, you got to keep going. So Kevin Warren, this whole stadium build being done by 2025, or at least starting by 2025, I better see some ground broke somewhere. I don't care where the ground is broken at, but there better be some ground broken in 2025 for our new stadium. And you better do your best diligence with this next head coach, because if you mess this up, man, you might be one of the most hated people in Chicago if he messes this up, because the Bears have talent. They just need a leader of men. The Bears have talent. They have talent all over the field. It's evident. They passed the eye test. It's evident. But the leadership, the locker room, how to win, there's just little pieces they're missing. And with a good coach, those little pieces won't be, pieces missing. He'll be able to fill in that gap. Would have loved to see Lovey here still, but he is a defensive-minded coach anyway. So I want to get a young guy, a young offense coordinator, who can grow like Ben Johnson. It's going to be tough though with him because he is going to be one of the most sought after coaches, and he's never controlled the whole locker room. He has Dan Campbell as the head coach, and he definitely controls the whole locker room. So Ben Johnson doesn't have to, and because of that, it's not for sure if he can do something like that. So we'll have to see if they're willing to take that chance on a Ben Johnson and see if he's the right piece for them, or if they go the route of a proven head coach already, like a Belichick, and see if the knowledge, discipline, respect that he would demand from his team is good enough, or if they need that offensive minded guy. Because with the draft and everything coming up, free agency, the Bears can fix the team. They need to upgrade a tackle, and have those tackles compete for the best two tackles. They need a better offensive guard. So you draft or sign a guard, and you have Tevin Jenkins and him as guards. Will the Bears resign and bring back Tevin? I don't know. He always hurt, but this year he did play through some injuries instead of sitting him out. So I will give kudos to Mr. Tevin Jenkins for that. But that dude is always hurt, So they might need two guards. You might need to sign one in free agency and draft one. They need a DN and a defensive tackle. Zachary Pickens he's not doing the job. And I think you can go ahead and cut him now, but you got Jerron Dexter Jr. and he's a stud at DT. I'll keep him. You got Montez Sweat. Billings has done good on pressure this year, but he's not a starting DT. He's a rotational piece. So if you can upgrade that DT, DN, get another guard, another tackle, that front, those trenches look so much better now. And that's where games are run in the NFL. Games are run in the trenches. And with the money they have, they can sign what they need. They don't have to rely just on draft picks. And Ryan Poles has done a great job as a Bears GM at doing that and drafting the best player available and not having to necessarily pick a need. So I would like to see free agency go well for the Bears before the draft. I would like to see them get a tackle, a guard, and a DN to fill those little gaps that we were talking about. As long as that happens, man, it don't really matter. I shouldn't say that. I'll never say that ever again. I will never say it don't matter who coaches the team. I will never say that ever again because it definitely does matter. It matters who coaches the team. But if you make that happen, you can have a lesser coach or a coach not as good as need be. You can take that chance on a Ben Johnson. You can take that chance on Mr. Brown because you have a strong team. But losing is the easiest thing to destroy a locker room, and that camaraderie just gone. It affects you. It does, because you went from being a family to not caring about each other. You know, Jalen Johnson is my new favorite all-time Bear. Used to be Sweetness. And my boy Singletary was up there too. His eyes, man, it was his eyes. But just the fact that Jalen got paid, he just got paid, and is the only one to really be vocal in the locker room after hearing all that stuff. Eberflus was still trying to preach. Oh, we got to rebound. We got to do this better. We got to. Jalen Johnson was the only one to stand up and say, "Hey, man, you know, this is not okay. This is not acceptable for me, because we put in work. I'm here 4 hours after practice with other teammates to make sure we win, and for us to put in this extra work, and for this to be the outcome when it shouldn't be this, when it could have been different, I'm not okay with that." And he spoke his mind to the point where both Eberflus and Poles, who were both present, had no choice but to hear him. They had to hear what Mr. Johnson said. And finally, his voice was heard, and Poles and Warren, they had enough. Eberflus had to go. He had to go. He had to. I love this hits principle. Last year, at the end of the year, the team was fighting for him. They did not want him to lose his job. Unfortunately, losing continuously, bad losses where you should have won, this is the outcome. You know, this is you lose the people that were willing to fight for you, because they don't trust you anymore. They don't trust you. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, Mr. Brown will be head coach this week against the 49ers in his first head coaching job, and he will get his chance to put his own stamp on this team. So let's go Bears. We shall see. Thanks a lot, you guys, for hanging out. Windy City Sports Nation. Next week, we will be talking about Mr. Brown and how he did this week. The Bulls, can they continue to build on the continuity they have? Will they stop turning the ball over and keep hitting threes? You know, and hopefully there'll be some free agent talk on the Cubs. This and more next week. Windy City Sports Nation. Have a good day.
This is your home for sports.
It's the best fans in the world.
No better team. SportsTownChicago.com.
Are you ready for this? Valley View Automotive has all of the hottest SUVs you've been looking for. Enjoy a test drive and the opportunity to drive one of these powerful vehicles off the lot for half the price. Yes, half the price. Now's the time to get yourself to Valley View by car, on foot, or even by air to take advantage of this outrageous sale. You better get here quickly, because this promotion is only going on for 24 hours, and the automobiles are leaving the lot faster than you can say four-wheel drive. Valley View Automotive, a dealership you can depend on.
Hey, I'm Andy Griggs, asking you to help prevent domestic violence. Domestic violence isn't a woman's issue. It hurts all of us. Women are injured and killed every day by their husbands and boyfriends. So it's time for men to take action right now to teach boys